Picture this. What if Deadpool had an anime? Instead of cracking jokes and trying to save the world, he's on a mission to finally kick the bucket. And his genius plan is to find a version of Domino whose powers work in reverse, turning her good luck into pure chaotic bad luck. And the way that he's going to do this is to get real close and personal with her. Yeah, you heard that right. His master plan to die is to bang Domino. I mean, even though he's probably already doing that in the comics. But look, I know it sounds insane, but honestly, that's the best way I can describe this anime. If you got a better explanation, just drop it in the comments, because I'm out of ideas. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's dive in to Undead Unluck. Now, before we dive into the world of Undead Unluck, let's take a quick look at the history behind it. The manga was created by Yoshifumi Tezuka, first premiered in Weekly Shonen Jump on January 2020. Tezuka's debut work has drawn a lot of attention, and while Undead Unluck is his most well-known, he also worked on one-shots like Cosmic Art Travel and Super Heavy Charge Vanguard. The story's chaotic mix of dark humor, action, and bizarre powers quickly found its audience. As for the animation, it was handled by David's Production, bringing Tezuka's vision to life. David's Productions are responsible of animes like Bento, Level E, Cells at Work, Captain Tutsuba, Fire Force, Spriggan. Last and definitely my favorite out of all of those is the JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Yes, all of them. 1 through 6. However, let's not forget the mixed reception between Hulu and Disney and how they've treated their anime. Undead Unluck is part of a trend where Disney Plus and Hulu have struggled to generate the same level of buzz for their anime as other platforms, like mainly due to the limited marketing and less consistent visibility. Titles like Sandland, The Fable, Go Loser Ranger, and much more have also faced criticism for this, leaving fans to wonder if Disney and Hulu are fully committed to their anime ventures. Will Undead Unluck break the mold, or is it just another series that slips under the radar? Well, let's find out. The story centers around Fuko, a girl with the power of unluck, which causes incredibly bad things to happen to anyone who's near her. She meets Andy, a guy who's immortal, and his ultimate goal is to die. He thinks Fuko's power might be the key to his death, so they team up for a chaotic, dark, humorous adventure. It's a mix of action, wild powers, and some strange emotional moments, but there's a lot of twists that keeps things fresh. Now, as for the plot, I give it a 2 out of 3. It has a strong foundation. Sometimes it can go a bit over the top, but I feel there's definitely a lot of room for exploration, deeper exploration into the characters. It has a lot of potential, especially with the twist of how things has basically how the world's been starting over and over and stuff like that. It's been ending and repeating, and some of the same powers in the Unlucks have been reincarnated in some kind of way. So it does take a simple plot that it has and stretches it out to a point where you didn't think that it would go. So yeah, 2 out of 3, but I'm pretty sure down the line with seasons that might get a little bit higher. At first, the world building seems pretty straightforward, and it appears that it's not even going to affect the main story that much. But as each episode progresses, we quickly realize that we're being proven wrong. The world is far more vast and complex than we're led to believe when we're first introduced to it. The lore, the rules of the powers, and how everything ties together. It's impressive. I gave the world building a 2.6 out of 3. While it starts off like it's not going to have that much impact, like I said earlier, it expands in a way where it becomes both surprising yet intriguing. I have a feeling with more seasons and as the story goes deeper, this should easily push to a perfect 3. Right now, it's safe to say that there's room for growth, but the foundation is definitely strong and engaging. The character development in Undead Unluck is just like its world building. It starts off somewhat straightforward, but quickly becomes more complex than you'd expect. The main character, Andy, is an immortal, and as we get deeper into his backstory, we see how his past lives and his relationships shape who he is now. But there's a added twist. Andy also has a dangerous split personality that no one knows about, which adds a whole new layer to his character. This not only keeps you hooked, but it also makes you want to dive deeper into the understanding of who he really is. Then there's Fuko. She's young, but her dynamic with Andy works really well. Her unluck power fits her role in the story, and her personality contrasts nicely with Andy's, creating a fantastic partnership. The development of their bond is really what makes the show very fun to watch. But it doesn't stop there. The other characters, like the members of the organization they're part of, all bring something unique to the table. As we learn more about their past, we see how their personalities tie into their powers and roles, which adds so much depth. I really appreciate when an anime ties the world building and character development together, and Undead Unluck does that really well. I gave the character development a 2.5 out of 3. It's already solid, and it's just like the world building. Like I said, I think it just has more room for growth as the seasons progress. When it comes to the animation, I gave it a solid 2 out of 3. The animation itself is clean. I don't really see any major flaws. There are some standout moments, particularly during the fight scenes, where the action really pops. The flashbacks and emotional moments are done so beautifully, capturing the sorrow and the weight behind the characters' powers. It's clear that the animators put a lot of effort into these key scenes. With that being said, they're not quite on the level of some big names like Mappa, where you could see those insane over-the-top sequences. Considering the studio behind the animation, David Studios, with their experience on projects like JoJo, it's great to see their unique style, but it's not quite pushing the boundaries like some others. It's still solid, and it works well for the tone of the series. Undead Unluck is a chaotic mess in the best possible way. It's got absurd powers, heartfelt moments, and plenty of what the fuck energy to keep you glued to the screen. It's messy, it's brilliant, it's honestly a lot of fun. At the end of the day, it scores a total of 9.1 out of 12, with officially classifying it as a supreme anime. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell, especially if you want to see more of me and you want to help out this channel. Now, let me ask you this though. Do you like John Wick? What if John Wick was forced to retire, instead of just retiring on his own like he did in the show, but forced to retire and be a normal person, stay home, watch soap operas, and draw like a 5-year-old and just learn how to be a normal person? If you're into that, you might want to check out my review on The Fable, another Disney Plus Hulu show that I mentioned earlier. But I don't know why you're still here looking at me, as I told you what video to watch and it's right there. So go ahead. Now, video over.